Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Speaking Nerds channel. We are so happy to have you here with us today. I'm your host, Maya.
And I'm John. This is where we explore real English, the kind that helps you communicate naturally in everyday situations, connect with people authentically, and join conversations that actually happen in real life, not just textbook phrases, but the language native speakers really use.
Exactly. And today, we're talking about something that affects almost everyone, your workday. How to talk about work, how to describe what you do, how to share your daily experiences, and how to connect with others through these everyday conversations.
Talking about your workday. This is such an important topic because work is a huge part of most people's lives. Whether you're working in an office, from home, in a store, at a hospital, in a school, or anywhere else, you need to know how to talk about your workday in English.
And if you're serious about improving your English and learning how native speakers truly communicate in real workplace situations and everyday conversations, please show your support right now by hitting that like button and subscribing to English Speaking Nerds. Your support means the world to us and helps us create more helpful content like this.
It really does. So let's get started. Maya, why is talking about your workday so important in English?
Oh, that's a great question to start with. Talking about work is one of the most common conversation topics in English-speaking cultures. When you meet someone new, when you're making small talk, when you're catching up with friends or family, work comes up constantly. It's how people connect and understand each other's lives.
Yes, and this is what I call work talk culture.
Work talk culture. I like that. Explain what you mean.
Work talk culture is the social practice of discussing work as a way to build relationships and show interest in other people's lives. In English-speaking countries, especially places like the United States, Canada, and the UK, asking about someone's workday is normal, expected, and considered polite. It's not nosy or intrusive. It's showing you care about their life and experiences.
That's so true. And there's a specific pattern to how these conversations happen. We call it the workday conversation flow.
The workday conversation flow. Tell us about that.
The workday conversation flow is the natural progression of a conversation about work. It usually starts with a simple question like, "How was work?" Then moves to general description. "It was busy," or "pretty quiet today." Then, if the conversation continues, you share specific details, interesting moments or challenges. And finally, you might talk about feelings or plans. It's a gradual opening up, not dumping everything at once.
That's perfect. And understanding this flow helps you respond naturally instead of feeling confused or giving too much or too little information.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about the most common question you'll hear. How was work? Or how was your day? This seems simple, but many English learners struggle with how to respond naturally.
They really do, and that's what I call the work response challenge.
The work response challenge, what does that mean?
The work response challenge is when English learners don't know how to respond to work questions in ways that sound natural and conversational. They might say too much, too little, be too formal, or not know what level of detail is appropriate. They're not sure if the person really wants to know or is just being polite.
And the truth is, it depends on context, but there are patterns we can learn.
Absolutely. So let's start with the basics. When someone asks, "How was work?" they usually want a brief, general answer first, not your whole life story.
Right. So, what are some natural, simple responses?
You might say it was good, pretty busy, kind of slow, really hectic, not bad, same as usual, really productive, or a bit stressful. These are short, natural, and give the basic feeling of your day.
And this is what I call work answer simplicity.
Work answer simplicity. Explain that.
Work answer simplicity means keeping your initial response brief and focused on the overall feeling rather than listing everything that happened. Instead of saying, "Well, I had 3 meetings, then I worked on a report, then I had lunch, then I answered emails, then I had another meeting," you just say, "Pretty busy day." You give the essence, not the details. If they want more, they'll ask follow-up questions.
That's such important advice, because in casual conversation, people want the vibe first, details later.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about different types of workdays and how to describe them. First, the busy day.
The busy day. Everyone has these. You might say it was crazy busy, non-stop all day, didn't have a minute to breathe, back-to-back meetings, running around all day, so much to do.
What are some more specific ways to describe being busy?
You could say the phone wouldn't stop ringing. Everyone needed something from me. I barely had time for lunch. Meetings all day, my to-do list just kept growing. Or I was putting out fires, which means dealing with urgent problems constantly.
What about the opposite, a slow day?
A slow day is when there's not much happening. You might say, pretty quiet today. Not much going on, kind of slow, light day. Didn't have much to do, easy day.
How do you express that without sounding lazy or bored?
Good question. You can frame it positively. Nice and steady, good pace today. Caught up on some things. Had time to organize, or finally got through my backlog. You focus on what you accomplished with the extra time.
What about a stressful day?
Stressful days happen. You might say really stressful, tough day, challenging, a lot of pressure. Things were intense, pretty overwhelming, or had some difficult situations.
Do you need to explain why it was stressful?
Only if the person asks or if you want to share. You can just say stressful day and leave it at that. The person will usually say something supportive like, sorry to hear that, or hope tomorrow's better. If they ask what happened, then you can share details.
What about a good, productive day?
Productive days feel great. You might say really productive, got so much done, accomplished a lot, felt good about what I finished, made good progress, knocked out a lot of tasks, or one of those days where everything clicks.
What about describing a normal, average day?
Most days are pretty average. You might say same as usual, normal day, nothing special, pretty typical, just another day, standard stuff, or same old, same old.
Is it okay to say work was boring?
You can, but there are more diplomatic ways to say it. Instead of so boring, you might say kind of slow, not the most exciting day, pretty routine, or nothing too interesting happened. These sound less negative.
Now, let's talk about the specific questions people ask about work. What are the most common ones?
After the initial how was work, people might ask, what did you do today? Anything interesting happen? How are things at work? How's the new project going? Still busy? Or any problems today?
How do you answer, what did you do today?
You give a general overview of main activities. You might say, mostly meetings and emails, working on that big project, training the new person, catching up on paperwork, dealing with customer issues, or the usual tasks. You don't need to detail every single thing.
What about anything interesting happen?
This is asking if there was anything unusual or noteworthy. You might say, not really, just a normal day. Or, actually, yes, something funny happened. Or, we had a surprise visit from the boss. Or, one of my coworkers announced they're leaving. Or, just the usual stuff.
Now, let's talk about describing specific work activities. What's the vocabulary for common work tasks?
Great question. Common work activities include having meetings, answering emails, making phone calls, working on projects, dealing with customers or clients, doing paperwork, training people, solving problems, attending presentations, collaborating with teammates, meeting deadlines, and completing tasks.
Let's break these down. First, meetings. How do people talk about meetings?
Meetings are huge in many workplaces. You might say, I had 3 meetings today, back-to-back meetings all morning, sitting in meetings all day, team meeting at 10, conference call with clients, video meeting with remote team, or quick check-in with my boss.
How do you describe what a meeting was like?
You might say, the meeting was productive, total waste of time, went way too long. Actually, pretty useful. Everyone was prepared, lots of good discussion, or could have been an email, which means the meeting was unnecessary and the information could have just been sent in an email.
What about emails? Everyone deals with emails.
Emails are a huge part of many jobs. You might say, answering emails all morning. My inbox is overflowing. Trying to get through all my emails. Sending out a bunch of emails. Email after email. Or finally caught up on email.
What about phone calls?
You might say on the phone all day. Tons of phone calls. Dealing with phone calls. Customer calls. Had to make some difficult calls. Or the phone wouldn't stop ringing.
What about working on projects?
Projects are big work items. You might say working on that presentation, making progress on the project, stuck on this assignment, finally finished that report, starting a new project, or project deadline is coming up.
How do you describe project status?
You might say it's going well, making good progress, a bit behind schedule, on track, almost done, just getting started, or running into some issues.
What about dealing with customers or clients?
You might say helping customers, client meetings, dealing with a difficult customer, customer service all day, lots of client calls, or customer complaints today.
What about paperwork?
Paperwork means administrative tasks and documentation. You might say buried in paperwork, filling out forms, documentation all day, administrative stuff, just paperwork, or catching up on filing.
Now let's talk about work coworkers and workplace relationships. How do you talk about the people you work with?
This is important because workplace relationships are a huge part of work life. You might say, my coworkers are great, good team, everyone's really helpful, I like the people I work with, or we all get along well.
What if there are problems with coworkers?
You can mention this diplomatically. You might say having some tension with a coworker. Not everyone's on the same page. Some personality conflicts. One person's being difficult. Or team dynamics are a bit challenging right now.
What about your boss? How do people talk about their boss?
People might say, my boss is great. Good manager. Really supportive supervisor. My boss drives me crazy sometimes. Having issues with my boss. Or boss is putting a lot of pressure on us.
What about describing workplace atmosphere?
You might describe it as great workplace culture, friendly environment, pretty relaxed office, high pressure environment, everyone's stressed, supportive team, or competitive atmosphere.
Let's talk about work challenges and problems. How do you describe difficult situations at work?
You might say having some issues, running into problems. Things are challenging right now. Some complications came up. Dealing with difficulties. Facing some obstacles. Or it's been tough lately.
Do you need to go into detail about problems?
Not unless the person asks or you want to vent. You can keep it general. Just some work stress or some challenges with the project. If they want to know more, they'll ask, what's going on? Or what kind of problems?
What about when things go wrong during the day?
You might say everything went wrong today. One of those days, Murphy's Law, which means everything that can go wrong does. Nothing went according to plan. Disaster of a day. Or just problem after problem.
What about when you make a mistake at work?
You might say, made a mistake today. Messed something up. Had a slip up. Error on my part. Learned from it, though. Hope I can fix it tomorrow.
How do coworkers or friends respond when you share problems?
They usually offer sympathy and support. They might say, that sounds rough. Sorry you're dealing with that. That's frustrating. Hang in there. Tomorrow will be better. You've got this. Or let me know if I can help.
Now let's talk about positive work experiences. How do you share good news about work?
You might say, great day at work. Things are going really well. Got some good news. Received positive feedback. Finished a big project. Got recognition. Or made a breakthrough.
What about accomplishments?
You might say, really proud of what I accomplished. Completed something I've been working on for months. Finally figured it out. Made my boss happy. Client was thrilled. Or the team reached our goal.
What about work milestones?
You might mention work anniversary, got promoted, raise, new responsibilities, leading a project now, or training someone new.
How do people respond to good news?
They celebrate with you. They might say, that's awesome. congratulations, you deserve it. So happy for you. Great job. Proud of you. Or way to go.
Now let's talk about ending the workday. How do you talk about leaving work?
You might say done for the day, heading home, finally leaving, clocking out, calling it a day, wrapping up, or time to go home.
What if you're staying late?
You might say working late tonight, still have more to do, staying late to finish this, overtime tonight, can't leave yet, or gonna be here a while.
What about when you finally get home from work?
You might say just got home, finally home, glad to be home, home from work, or made it home.
What's that feeling when you get home after a long day?
Relief and exhaustion. You might say so tired, exhausted, wiped out, need to decompress, time to relax, or so glad that's over.
Now let's talk about work from home. This is very common now. How is it different?
Work from home has its own vocabulary and experiences. You might say working from home today, remote work, home office day, no commute today, or working in my pajamas.
What are the benefits people mention?
People say love not commuting, more comfortable at home, better work-life balance, can focus better, more flexible schedule, or nice to be home.
What are the challenges?
You might hear hard to focus at home, too many distractions, miss the office interaction, feeling isolated, work never ends, or can't separate work and home.
What about video calls and online meetings?
These are everywhere now. You might say Zoom meeting, video call, virtual meeting, on a call, or conference call.
What are common video call problems?
You might complain about my internet connection, can't hear you, you're on mute, technical difficulties, video froze, audio issues, or someone's dog is barking in the background.
Let's talk about different jobs and how people describe their work. What about office jobs?
Office workers might talk about at my desk all day, computer work, staring at spreadsheets, writing reports, data entry, admin work, or office tasks.
What about customer service jobs?
They might say dealing with customers, on the register, helping people, customer complaints, answering questions, or customer-facing all day.
What about teaching?
Teachers might say full day of classes, lesson planning, grading papers, parent meetings, classroom management, or teaching all day.
What about healthcare workers?
They might say long shift, patient care, on my feet all day, rounds, charting, or saving lives.
What about physical labor jobs?
They might say physical work, on my feet all day, heavy lifting, manual labor, outdoor work, or exhausting physically.
Now let's talk about work schedules. How do you describe when you work?
You might say 9 to 5 job, work days, business hours, first shift, night shift, graveyard shift, which is overnight work, split shift, or flexible hours.
What about different schedule patterns?
People might have Monday through Friday, weekends off, work weekends, rotating schedule, 4 10-hour days, part-time or full-time.
How do you talk about days off?
You might say my day off, not working today, off tomorrow, 3-day weekend, long weekend, or much needed day off.
What about vacation or time off?
You might say taking time off, going on vacation, PTO, which means paid time off, out of the office, taking a personal day, or using my vacation days.
Let's talk about commuting. How do you describe getting to work?
You might say my commute, drive to work, take the train, bus ride, walk to work, bike to work, or carpool.
What about commute time?
You might say 30-minute commute, long commute, short drive, an hour each way, traffic was terrible, smooth commute today, or stuck in traffic.
What about expressing feelings about your commute?
You might say, hate my commute, love my short commute drains me, good time to listen to podcasts, use the time to decompress, or worst part of my day.
Now let's talk about work-life balance. This is a big topic. How do people discuss this?
Work-life balance is huge. You might say, trying to balance work and life, work takes over everything, need better boundaries, work-life balance is good, all I do is work, or finally finding balance.
What about when work is affecting personal life?
You might say, work is consuming me, no time for anything else, work stress follows me home, can't enjoy my free time, always thinking about work or missing out on life.
What about when you have good balance?
You might say, leave work at work, good separation, make time for myself, prioritize my personal life, healthy boundaries, or work doesn't control me.
Let's talk about career goals and advancement. How do you discuss these?
You might say, looking to advance, want a promotion, working toward a goal, career development, building my skills, gaining experience, or climbing the ladder.
What about job satisfaction?
You might say, love my job, hate my job is okay, not fulfilling, dream job, dead-end job, or considering a change.
What about looking for a new job?
You might say job hunting, updating my resume, looking for something new, ready for a change, applying to positions, or interviewing.
Now let's talk about expressing how you feel about work in general. What are some common sentiments?
People express, I live for the weekend, just working for the paycheck, passionate about my work, it's just a job, career is important to me, or work is a means to an end.
What about work stress in general?
You might say, work is stressful, job stress is getting to me, burned out, need a break, exhausted from work, or work is overwhelming.
What about feeling fulfilled by work?
You might say, find my work meaningful, making a difference, love what I do, feel accomplished, proud of my work, or work gives me purpose.
Let's talk about small talk about work. How do you make conversation about work without it being too deep?
Small talk about work is light and easy. You might say, how's work treating you? Keeping busy? Work going well? How are things at the office? Still at the same place? Or how's the job?
What are easy, light responses?
You keep it brief. Can't complain, keeping me busy, same old, going well, pretty good, or no complaints.
What if you don't want to talk about work?
You can politely deflect. Don't want to talk about work right now. Let's talk about something else. Trying to forget about work, rather not think about it, or simply, it's fine, how about you?
Now let's talk about asking follow-up questions. If someone shares about their workday, how do you respond and keep the conversation going?
You show interest by asking, what happened? Tell me more. How did that go? What did you do about it? How are you handling it? Or what's next?
What about showing empathy?
You might say, that sounds tough. I can imagine. Must be challenging. I'd feel the same way. That's frustrating. Or good for you for dealing with that.
What about sharing your own similar experience?
You can relate by saying, same here. I know exactly what you mean. I've been there. Happens to me too. Similar situation for me. Or I totally get that.
Let's talk about different work situations. What if someone just started a new job?
They might say, first week in new job, still learning everything, getting to know everyone, lots to learn, feeling overwhelmed, excited but nervous, or adjustment period.
What do you ask someone with a new job?
You might ask, how's the new job? How are you liking it? getting settled in, how's the team, living up to expectations, or glad you made the move.
What if someone is unhappy at work and considering quitting?
They might say, thinking about leaving, looking for something new, not sure how much longer I can do this, ready for a change, job isn't right for me, or considering my options.
How do you respond supportively?
You might say, you have to do what's right for you. Life's too short to be miserable. Trust your gut. You'll figure it out. Whatever you decide, I support you. Or there are other opportunities.
What about someone who's between jobs or unemployed?
This is sensitive. They might say, currently looking, between jobs, taking some time off, searching for the right opportunity, or in transition.
How do you talk to them without being insensitive?
You're supportive and respectful. How's the search going? Any promising leads? Let me know if I can help. Must be stressful. You'll find something. Or simply, how are you holding up?
Let's talk about work events and socializing. How do people discuss work parties or events?
You might say company party, team building, office happy hour, work dinner, holiday party, or networking event.
How do you describe these events?
You might say, should be fun, have to go, actually looking forward to it, not really into it, good to socialize with coworkers, or rather skip it.
Now let's talk about expressing work exhaustion. What do people say?
You might hear wiped out, drained, exhausted, running on empty, dead tired, can barely keep my eyes open, or need to recharge.
What about looking forward to the weekend?
People say, can't wait for Friday, almost the weekend, TGIF, which means thank God it's Friday, weekend can't come soon enough, or counting down to the weekend.
What about Monday feelings?
Monday has a reputation. People say, case of the Mondays, Monday blues, Monday morning, rough start to the week, need more coffee, or already wishing it was Friday.
What about Friday feelings?
Friday is loved. You might hear, Happy Friday, best day of the week, freedom is near, made it to Friday, finally Friday, or let the weekend begin.
Let me ask you something personal. How do you feel about talking about work, John?
I think work is such a big part of life that it's natural to discuss. For me, talking about work helps process the day, connect with others who understand, and sometimes just vent when needed. But I also think it's important not to let work dominate every conversation. Balance is key. What about you, Maya?
I agree completely. I find that sharing about work helps me feel connected and understood, especially on tough days. But I also value conversations that go beyond work, that explore other parts of life and identity. Work is what we do, not who we are, right? Though for some people, their work is deeply tied to their identity and purpose, and that's valid too.
Absolutely. And that's what we wanted to communicate today, that there's no one right way to talk about work. It depends on your situation, your feelings, your relationship with the person you're talking to, and what you need in that moment.
The important thing is having the language to express whatever your experience is, whether work is great, terrible, stressful, boring, fulfilling, or just okay. You can communicate that authentically.
So we want to hear from you. Tell us in the comments, how was your workday today? Or if you're not working, how do you spend your days? Use some of the vocabulary and phrases we discussed.
Practice makes perfect. This is your safe space to try out the language, see what feels natural, and get comfortable with these everyday conversations.
If you found this conversation helpful and learned new ways to talk about your workday in English, please give us a thumbs up. It really helps us reach more learners.
And please share this video with someone who's learning English, especially someone entering the workforce or wanting to improve their professional communication. This could be exactly what they need.
Subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell icon so you never miss an episode. We're here to help you communicate confidently in real English situations.
Until next time, stay nerdy, stay curious, and remember that your experience matters. Your voice is important, and you can express yourself authentically in English.
See you in the next video.
Bye, everyone.
Keep practicing.